others. When I'm called, I don't listen. I'm always at Facebook on my phone. So it has affected me tremendously because I can say I don't socialize and I don't open as much to my parents as I used to.
Your parents are not comfortable seeing you always on your phone 24/7. They find you as they think you're lazy or something.
Over the years, the communicative relationship between parents and teenagers has been challenging, as this is the phase when the teenagers are trying to find their identity. In Komarok Estate, teenagers are up with the social media, and this as well contributes to the poor communicative relationship. The influence of Facebook on them has fueled the challenges parents face as the society is rapidly changing due to the technology influence.
Because of technology, the social context is redefining itself. Where there was no technology, the social context will be defined from the parental values from the family and then the community values. But with the coming of technology, the space has been expanded. It is not only local, it is now global. So then the younger generation are bombarded with information from everywhere. And because as children grow up, and most of adolescents, they are at the junction of life, and that is when they want to know who they are. That is when they are defining and getting the identity. And this identity is actually acquired from the projection of what they feel they should be onto people that they see as behaving that way. So then it becomes much more easier for adolescents to pick up every stuff that comes because the social space has been expanded. It's not confined, and there are no boundaries now.
The role media is playing on this relationship is making it difficult for teenagers to focus in life.
I think so, insofar as it draws the child away from the family. And everything in the media, the internet, screens, we've talked about that at other times, where it's a tug away from the family unit.
Teenagers have now adapted to the use of Facebook and have given it more priority than anything else. Parents, on the other hand, are busy and do not spend as much time with them, leading to a dilemma between them.
I would imagine that there is a change, and it's really destructive change, in the sense that parents provided the moral values. However, they may still want to do so, but the children are picking out alternatives outside. Now, the biggest dilemma here is how do you merge the generational change? The children are in dilemma whether to pick up from what the parents are asking them to do, and the parents are in dilemma whether to pull their children. Unfortunately, even parents are also caught up with that because no one wants to be seen as still fixated in the past. So that complicates the scenario. Actually, in my understanding, it creates confusion because there is no role modeling psychologically. Psychological role modeling will lack, especially when it comes to integrating morality and values.
Most of the teenagers in Komarok Estate signed up to their Facebook accounts in 2008 when Facebook gained its popularity in Kenya. Here are some of the reasons why they are in it and when they started using it.
I started using Facebook when I was in class 8.
When I was in Form 2.
In 2009.
This I can say when I was in class 8.
Facebook is a social media, and it is a nice venue where you can meet and chat with friends, and you can mingle with friends too.
I use Facebook to socialize with my friends, meet new friends, and yeah.
I'm in it because it's a cliche, it's something that you have to do.
Basically, Facebook for me is a chat room, and I'm in it just to connect with friends of mine who are far away from me, like who've traveled abroad, and just because everyone is in it, I just don't want to be left behind.
Facebook has also brought different influences to them, like dressing modes, among others.
From peer pressure, obviously you want to be up to date with the trends and all that, but when necessary, when you're seeing something nice and you want it, obviously you get a chance to change your dressing, the way you look, to better yourself.
Most of the time I'm with my phone chatting, so sometimes my parents call me to send me somewhere on the road. I'm also like chatting.
It has affected my studies because I've not been reading as I'm supposed to. Facebook is taking most of my time because the study time I'm always in Facebook.
The use of words like YOLO, LOL, LQTM, those are words that I learned through Facebook.
Parents have admitted that their communicative relationship has evolved as compared to before the teenagers started using Facebook.
They tend not to answer questions the way I expect. Maybe they're not straight. I feel like they're not straightforward. They're not saying exactly what I want to hear. Like if you ask somebody, where have you been? What is your school life? It becomes like a one-word answer instead of someone making a proper statement or a full story.
The relationship is not very good because every day I'm complaining of one thing after the other. If it is not addressing, it is concentration. If it is not concentration, it is the behavior. Okay, things have changed a lot.
Additionally, teenagers have also accepted that their communicative relationship with their parents has been affected tremendously since they started engaging themselves on Facebook.
They are always complaining most of the time because, as in, most of my concentration is on the phone. Yeah.
Before we had like time to talk, time to do things together, but now I prefer like being in Facebook so that I can keep up with my friends. Yeah, so it has really affected us.
Reverend Abanga explained that the main challenge that makes it hard for parents to communicate with their teenagers is that the influence of technology has made the society lose its values, and the teenagers now get more answers from the technological world.
The availability of mobile phones, that is almost accessible by everyone, even children who are in the adolescence age. It means that it's not only the child that is, the parent that is giving the child information. It's not only the parent that is giving the child morals and values, but they are able to pick it also from out there, and it's easily accessible in the internet and more. So Facebook as a social media has exposed the children to almost everything that they wanted to see, and they could have just heard by parents. What parents would shy off from, they can be able to see because there is no limitation.
Other than that, parents also mention some of the challenges they face with their teenagers.
As a teenager, it's hard to monitor what they are doing because at times they can lie to you and you cannot keep up with their pace.
Time management is the biggest problem because when they get to the Facebook, they will not want to listen to any other thing. It will deny them time to do their work at home. It will deny them time to do their studies.
I think they spend too much time on it, such that nothing else really matters. Most of the time is just that book. Sometimes somebody is locked in a room for hours. Ukienda unakuta, you find them browsing. Sometimes in the middle of the night, you just see some lights coming from that room, which means they are on their phone.
I think it's probably demarcating between what's personal to her and to what extent as a parent you need to get into, because she also requires to have some personal space to grow. So it's a bit tricky in terms of determining to what extent do you need to manage, and to what extent you need to get into what she posts, that kind of thing. So it's very tricky for me, to be honest.
There are different methods that parents use to overcome these challenges, like talking to them, punishing or beating them, among others. Mama Linda gives an account of how Facebook has changed his son's behavior.
When my child started using Facebook, the time he started using Facebook, it was tiresome. I really felt bad because first he started smoking, taking alcohol, doing several things that are not pleasing. He started coming up home late. Me and his father, we really beated the boy. We beated him until he said, even if you beat me, there's nothing you're going to get from me. I'll never change. So which means when we were beating the boy, he was just getting immune.
According to the psychologist's point of view, teenagers should be approached in a different way that will make them more comfortable to speak out. Demands, rules, and beating only worsen the situation. Parents should play their role in being good role models to their teenagers and try and understand them from the word go. This will reduce conflicts between them and their teenagers.
Parents need to accept their children as people who are learning behavior. What is their part? They need to provide role model. They need to tell them what may be the consequence of the behavior, but in a loving way, so that they can make mistake, come back.
Despite the challenges parents face due to their teens' influence on Facebook, they have acknowledged positive attributes that Facebook has brought.
They are exposed. They are able to learn a lot from what they access in the internet, on Facebook, and they get ideas that they discuss on Facebook with friends, and I think that helps them even to grow, to mature in their mind.
Wakombele, they get information beforehand, even before I know, and they know a lot of things that we don't know because they are constantly on the Facebook.
But mainly pointing out the negative effects.
You can talk to them and at times they seem to be so far away. They're there physically, but everything else is somewhere else. Also, you find that the character changing, that you can tell them to do something and they refuse.
If I'm not wrong, I can say we have some very bad pornographic things in social media, even those which are being posted anywhere. And still those ones affect the young children, the teenagers.
They are giving it too much priority, this Facebook thing. And it's like life ends there. They don't want to think about anything else but Facebook. So,
like time management and other influences that come that are not morally correct.
Some of the things that she knows, she's not supposed to know at that age.
In order to improve the communicative relationship, parents should get new parenting methods that fit the current society.
Try as much as you can to be a friend to your child. Do not try to parent. When you try to parent, you'll just lose them. But when you are a friend, they'll come at one point and open up to you. They can tell you anything about what's going on in their lives, how their friends are. Also, try to invite their friends over so that you can see the character of their friends.
We have to look for a way of being very close to the children, and most of the time keep on talking to them. If you keep on talking to someone several times, if he or she doesn't want to hear, eventually one time she or he will listen and say, what is this my dad or my mom is telling me every day? Let me hear.
Be patient with their kids, try to understand them. Don't be so hard on them. Most of all, pray for them because they really need prayers.
As a psychologist, one of the most important things is that there needs to be a more open interaction. Previously, it was deductive, it is instructional. But now we need to be more open. We need to now have our children even teach us what is going out which we do not have.
Change is inevitable. Parents should therefore give their teenagers child independence, whereby they have space to do what they want and parents only interfere if need be. This helps the teenagers in their growth. To add on to this, they should also monitor what the teenagers do from time to time and listen to them more. This will help in having a better communicative relationship.